Merry Christmas, Badway. How you doing?
I thought you were going to pull the handsome Dan there for a second.
Hey!
Ha ha!
Ho ho! Merry Christmas!
Before they turn it off, before they hit the 1 minute mark.
Merry Christmas, Badway. Welcome back to the Last Row podcast. Our Christmas present to you, faithful, wonderful, amazing listeners, is another podcast episode for your holiday.
The gift that keeps on giving.
This is the Last Row podcast. My name is Drew, and as always, across the room, I am joined by my holiday cheer, Mr. Badway.
Yeah.
Bah humbug. Our website is thelastrowpodcast.com. We are on Twitter at thelastrowpod, facebook.com/thelastrowpod, Google+. Most importantly, iTunes. If you haven't had the chance to, you're enjoying the show, please head out to iTunes, search for our show, leave us a 5-star review, give us some feedback, let us know what you like about the show. We're also on Google Play Music. And if you enjoyed this movie and you haven't seen it in a while and you don't have Netflix, you want to rent it, hit up the affiliate codes in our description on the podcast, on our website, in the description for this episode. If you haven't seen by now, Badway, what are we watching this week?
We're doing The Santa Claus with E.
Did you see the headline that basically said, now people mess up the way that you spell Santa Claus?
It's spelt wrong.
Because of this movie?
Yeah, is it?
So we can blame the movie John, whatever his name is, the director of this thing.
The dubbification of America.
So hit me up with the synopsis.
Santa Claus, 1994, fantasy/action.
How do you feel about that?
It's not an action movie. Let's get real here.
Is it fantasy as in if you don't believe?
It's a fantasy or a reality.
It's fantasy if you're...
Not a documentary.
If you're Judge Reinhold, I mean, it's a documentary to me.
Is it a biography?
It's real to me, damn it.
6.4 IMDb, John Pasquine. Divorced dad, Scott Calvin, has custody of his son on Christmas Eve. That's never good. Custody of his son. That's like, damn. When you say it like that, all legal. That's
what I mean.
Right?
It's like, does this play into how he feels about his son?
Like some parents are like, are divorced. And, the kid goes one way and then he goes another way, different weekends, but to call it custody, that sounds like court mandated.
It's clinical.
Yeah.
It's very clinical.
Yeah. Sounds very temporary if you ask me. After he accidentally kills a man in a Santa suit, then I just jump right into that.
So the funny thing is about that, what you just read, it's like if I play some eerily creepy music behind this, it sounds like a horror movie, doesn't it? Santa sleigh.
Okay, let me redo that. After he accidentally kills a man in a Santa suit, they are magically transported to the North Pole, where an elf explains that Scott must take Santa's place before next Christmas arrives. Scott thinks he's dreaming, but over the next several months, he gains weight and grows an inexplicably white beard.
It sounds like the opposite of thinner.
Maybe that night at the North Pole wasn't a dream after all, and maybe, just maybe, Scott has a lot of work to do.
How many people turned this show off right there? How many? Are you still with us?
I think I did that. I think I knocked it out of the park.
Are you still with us?
I think I knocked it out of the park
so,
on that one.
6.4 IMDb. Fair? Not fair?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it was that great. Upon rewatch.
Let me before I have some trivia that I want to jump into, but let's talk a little bit about this. We haven't done it in a long time. What were your memories of this, and did it live up to it?
I remember loving this movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. We briefly touched on it in our last episode. Was it on your list?
It was.
It was on my list. Yeah. It wasn't on my list. And I remember it. And I loved it at the time. But now having watched it as, a full-fledged grown adult, I thought it was kind of boring. I watched the last 30 minutes in your basement here before we started recording, and I fell asleep.
Yes, you did.
Rightfully so, I think.
You did.
Yeah.
I felt bad. I didn't want to wake you up.
Yeah, I was probably snoring.
I heard a little snore, and I didn't want to wake you up because you seemed so peaceful.
I was like half awake. Like I saw like a scene that I fell asleep for a scene. Like, DVDs have chapters.
Yeah.
It's like I fell asleep for a chapter.
So you saw odd chapters?
Yeah, I saw like odd chapters.
So it doesn't.
So I really just saw a guy steal his son, is what I saw.
So you saw the horror version of the movie?
Yeah, I saw the horror movie.
So it doesn't live up to your memories of it, is what you're saying?
No, I didn't think it was all that great of a movie. I thought it was kind of weak.
It made my list, and it's been on my list for years. And I tweeted a couple days ago that we're going to do this movie. I was kind of excited to rewatch it. We watched it at a friend's party, the first half, and the crowd that we were with got a little upset because we were just ripping the movie, like ripping it. Especially the kid in the movie, who This kid annoys me to no end, which we'll get into. But it was like, I guess, I don't know. We watched this and I was just talking the whole time. Violation, I guess, on my part.
Let me clarify. I feel like after he turns into Santa Claus, it gets kind of boring. I feel like I fell asleep during the boring end, like when it was winding down when he was Santa Claus. But
that's fair.
The first half of the movie where he's not sure who he is or what happened or that he killed Santa and all that crap, like it was fun to rip on the movie, like in a fun way. Like it was worthwhile to watch. I feel at least the first half.
Well, and it's a kind of fun to watch it as a 30-plus-year-old person. Now looking back on it with the annoying kid, the fact that this guy is like turning into Santa Claus, and that's weird. Like, could you imagine if you turned into Santa Claus? Like the fact that he accidentally killed Santa Claus. You know, the lead up to it was actually really fun to analyze, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also the first half of the movie, I was in for a 6-pack already, so maybe that also helped my enjoyment of it. But I remember really enjoying the first half of that movie, and then we watched the second half here, and I was like, this is not that great.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So
let me ask you,
just
to end this, does it still belong in your list, or do you want to bump it?
No, it does. It belongs on the list because I think Tim Allen's really good in it, and I think his performance is like head and shoulders above everybody else, like so far.
Sure,
you know, and then the character him, I felt like he was the only normal person in the movie, and you can fight me on that all day. But
my favorite character was Judge. What's his name?
No, I hated
Reinhold?
him. Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, he was good, man. He played the creepy stepfather really well.
Yeah, I couldn't stand him, and he was making me angry. So I guess he did a really good job from a performance standpoint.
He did a great job.
But before we jump into the plot, I want to give you some tidbits of trivia here.
Oh, Santa Claus trivia.
How do you think Tim Allen did? Do you think he was perfect for the role?
Yeah, I thought it was right up his alley. It's right around when he was hot, you know? And like he was very sarcastic type of humor, you know, kind of a stand-up routine type stuff.
Like the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I felt like it blended in.
So did you know this was his first leading role in a film, in a movie?
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
Did you know that this was written, they wrote the movie with Bill Murray in mind?
Yeah.
Could you see that?
They were never going to get him.
And it said after reading the script, he was offered the lead role. He declined, saying he didn't think it suited his humor.
Yeah.
I think he's a little too sarcastic for it.
Yeah, he's a little too sarcastic. Tim Allen was a little smart alecky as well. He's quick-witted, quick with a comeback. But Bill Murray's too, like, I don't know, serious is the right word, because he does a lot of that serious, sarcastic comedy, but he's a little darker, right? You would say?
Yeah,
Isn't Bill Murray a little bit darker?
It's a little bit more depressing. Yeah. Like Scrooge. We talked about Scrooge last week.
You think about Groundhog Day. He's already done a thing where his body's going through a transformation, if you will, with Groundhog Day. You don't want to be into that. It's like the same movie, kind of.
He's had enough of the transformations.
Yeah.
So to tell you where Tim Allen ranked on Disney's list, after Bill Murray turned down the part, Chevy Chase was considered. He was forced to decline because of scheduling. So then Robin Williams and Tom Hanks were also considered.
That's reaching for the stars.
So give me a list here. Like, would any of those guys have done better than the Tool Man?
Well, Robin Williams would have obviously done better than Tim Allen.
But the movie would have been completely different. Like, it would have been a
Robin Williams movie versus a Santa Claus movie.
Yeah, he would have completely stolen the show.
Yeah,
and that's a bad thing.
It might have been a great thing. But again, he already did Ms. Doubtfire. It's like the same movie. Because I'm going to be another person. Transformations. It's like, we need a new guy to do transformation.
What's the one with JTT, Man of the House?
Man of the House.
Well, that's Chevy Chase, right?
That is Tim Allen.
Tim Allen's in one of them. Jungle to Jungle.
Jungle to Jungle. They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all
the same. All right, people.
Here's another fun fact for you about Tim Allen. Tim Allen has a criminal record, and Disney has a strict no hiring of ex-cons policy. An exception was made in this case.
What did he do?
So I guess they threw Robert De Niro out the window here.
What did he do? Do you know what he did?
I'd have to look it up, but I remember this being a thing. Like, he went to jail. I don't know if it was a DUI or something, but I'm pretty sure that he had some type of criminal activity.
All right, I just looked it up what it is here. So in 1978 in Detroit, Michigan.
Man. That's a long time.
He got caught attempting to sell a large amount of cocaine to an undercover officer.
All right. Okay, that's probably...
It's pretty felonious.
I said like DUI, which is bad enough, but selling cocaine. But this is the 70s. The 70s was a little bit more like...
Further down the Tim Allen rabbit hole, you know what his real name is? His name is Tim Dick.
Are you kidding me?
His last name's Dick, so I guess that doesn't fly in the TV world. You got to change that.
Tim Allen.
Yeah.
It's definitely more of a television name. So... The other thing, too, about this, and the last fun fact I'll give you, is in an original older release of the film, he makes some sarcastic remark in the film. I don't know if you had this copy or not, but there's a line about calling the number 1-800-SPANK-ME. So apparently some woman near Cleveland, Ohio, called this number for her curious grandchildren, and it turned out to be a phone sex line, which you would expect.
What kind of naive?
1-800. Listen, she's like, oh yeah, we'll call this number. Don't worry about it. 1-800 spank me. Yeah, it's a joke, right? So she calls it, and it's a phone sex line. Back and then in '97, Disney received enough complaints from parents whose children called the number and racked up huge phone bills. So they took the studio.
What were they
to
talking
action.
about?
So Disney said that they would purchase the phone number to disconnect the service, and they cut this from the DVD release.
So the kids call it curious. You know, they're like $2.99 the first minute, 99 cents each additional minute. How many minutes were those kids on there?
We need that John Paskin's director's cut, man, with the 1-800 spank me.
Is that like the unrated version? You know.
I feel like that's got to be 1-800 spank me is a pretty mild phone sex line too. I mean, there's a lot of worse numbers that you could be calling here.
It's a safe, dirty joke. Classic Tim Allen. Classic Tool Man.
Right. So anyway, let's jump into the movie. Talk a little bit about the character of Scott Calvin, SC, perfectly lining up with Santa Claus.
Coincidence?
What do you think of Scott Calvin? What's his life like?
Man's got to make some toys, man. Now, is it any coincidence that he's a toy maker?
I mean, the kid confuses him for
SC.
Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
SC, toy maker. He's making dolls. Is that what his deal is?
Yeah, so I guess it doesn't matter. Boy, girl, doesn't matter. We'll take it all. So, guy's a workaholic, similar to our friend over there at Jingle All the Way. What was his name?
Oh, you mean Howard Langston?
Yeah, similar to Howard Langston, selling mattresses. Same type of thing, working long hours.
Is he a deadbeat father? We find out that they're divorced. Like, rate him as a father compared to Arnold from Jingle All the Way.
Well, I think he's trying. Like, he has the kid for Christmas Eve.
That kid was very ungrateful, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
A little whiny. A lot whiny.
Like, I get it. He's a product of divorce. I know that's traumatizing for a 6-year-old kid.
Sure.
But show your dad a little bit of appreciation.
Give him a break here, kid.
He gets to the house, and immediately he's like, Mom, I don't want to be here. Can you pick me up tomorrow early?
That is messed up.
Like, come on, man. He was trying to cook dinner for him.
Yeah.
I know he burnt the turkey, but everything else on the table looked pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he tried. He made him a nice meal. He tried. Burnt the turkey. Classic tool man with a fire extinguisher.
The fire extinguisher joke.
Tim Allen jokes. He's got him in spades. But he's trying. And what happens when you try and you burn dinner? Where do you go? Christmas Eve.
You go to Denny's,
You go to
man.
Denny's. You go to Chinese food or you go to Denny's.
With all the other, like, it was the most stereotypical thing. Like, they had, like, very, very stereotypical thing. There's all the other single fathers there.
Well, single fathers, you have the Chinese businessmen, and you have the Jewish people. They're all sitting there at Denny's.
Right, on Christmas Eve, right? It's like, but I don't know. Do you think he tried? He seems like he's trying hard, man.
I feel like he's tried. I feel like he loves his kid, but at the same time, he's like, he doesn't put the time in, right? He doesn't put the time in.
What if he's not allowed because of Neil?
If he would have put the time in, he would have not burned the turkey. Like, he would have been on his game. I feel like he didn't know what to do with the kid on Christmas Eve. It's probably why he's divorced, right? Let's get into that.
Listen,
why is he divorced?
I want to know the story of whether Neil came along and broke them up. I mean, he makes a joke at one point about, like, oh yeah, she didn't listen to me when we were married or whatever. He like makes some offhanded comment. I don't know. No offense, that lady seemed like a buzzkill. I don't think I'd want to be married. I'd rather be married to Tim Allen.
It was her haircut, really.
She does?
Yeah.
She has that 90s haircut.
Yeah, it was the haircut, the bags, the whole thing. And then she gave the kid the same haircut, too. So that's why the kid was whiny.
So as a single man, Badway, would you ever date a girl with that haircut?
Sure.
You
But not if she had a child who also had that haircut.
Yeah, they kind of had the same haircut, didn't they?
So I wouldn't take the package deal, right?
So you would, what if you had a buzz cut? You're good? You're in?
Yeah, I'm in.
What if she has a buzz cut?
That's fine too, as long as they both don't have that haircut.
So if the woman has a buzz cut,
yeah,
and the kid has this lady's hair, you're good, or vice versa.
Yeah, as long as they both don't have it, it's like the two negatives equal a positive. In this case, the two negatives equal a negative to me.
See, I look at this relationship as a Daniel Hillard from Mrs. Doubtfire sort of situation. Like, he's the fun dad. He's just trying to be fun. And she just is like, she needs a real man. She needs a psychiatrist.
Fun doesn't mean responsible.
Psychologist.
Let me ask you this. Let me paint this scenario for you. Is it possible that they were going to marriage counseling?
Yes.
And Neil was the psychiatrist.
Yes. 100%.
Right?
100%.
And he took her side. Every time.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Neil knows all their, he knows what makes her tick. It's a secret. It's a little unethical.
Dating your patient.
Immoral. But, maybe they parted ways. Like, he just decided to terminate the working relationship and then called her the next day.
Oh, and that would be total why Tim Allen has this, like, vendetta against Neil. Like, it's funny when the movie opens up, it's like they do this thing or whatever at his business, and then they go back to his house. And for some reason, I thought it was her house. And I thought he was pulling the ultimate power move. Like, he walks into her house. The first thing he does, he opens the closet and puts his coat in there.
Yeah.
Like, this used to be my house. Like the power move. Like, you stick your coat in that closet.
Oh, but you were mistaken.
You're marking your territory. No, it's his own house.
Yeah. I get that, though, because in these types of movies, the single father is always like one-bedroom apartment, crappy, single light, no lampshade.
He had a good house.
Nothing in the fridge. No ambiance, no decoration. Kid has a sports car bed in his bedroom. Right?
The only expensive thing they own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to show the dad how
magazines everywhere.
I mean, Mr. Doubtfire, he's in that like crappy apartment.
Exactly.
He can't even make dinner.
So you see the nice townhouse that Tim Allen's in, you assume it wasn't his house because you've been trained by all these movies to think single dad equals crappy apartment.
So let's talk about the dynamic, between Tim Allen, Charlie, the mom, Neil with the sweaters. Neil with the sweaters.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? It seems like Neil has taken, this kid and basically brainwashed him into thinking nothing is fun and you need to be serious all the time.
Neil seems to be pretty much the worst stepfather.
Total buzzkill.
Totally terrible stepfather.
He cares about the kid. That's clear.
He cares about his well-being, but he also cares about sucking all the fun out of the kid.
Like, let me just say this, and I'm just going to jump right to it. Yeah. I take issue with the fact that they're like appalled that the kid would believe in Santa Claus, right? So here's my issue with this. The kid gets made fun of in school. He's 6 years old. Like, I don't remember when I stopped believing in Santa Claus. It was probably around that age, whatever, maybe earlier.
Yeah, I'm thinking like first grade, something like that for me.
But the thing is, and the truth is it's so bad. They act like the kid's shooting up heroin. Like, I can't believe he still believes in Santa Claus. Yeah. You're damaging his fragile mind. Like, I was so on Tim Allen's side this entire movie. I'm like, you know what? This guy is the only normal guy in this movie. And I feel offended for him. They made the decision to tell him that Santa Claus wasn't real.
Yeah.
And not even talk to Tim Allen about it. And he's like, wait a second, what are you guys talking about? Yeah. You told him you didn't ask me?
Well,
messed up.
In fairness, I feel like if he's getting ridiculed at school for being the only one that believes in Santa and like he's fighting this losing battle, I feel like you do have to tell the kid. You don't want the kid to be a social outcast early. It could like kind of damage him psychologically for the rest of his school years, That's fine, but it seems like Neil takes it to the extreme. Like, he's not believing because the kid's going to beat him up. He doesn't want him to believe because this isn't real. Like, you need to believe in only real things, and this is logical. It's like, what a buzzkill, man. The kid has a nice comeback though. He says something like, "Hey, do you believe in $1 million?" Yeah. He's like, "Oh yeah, you've never seen it, so how do you know it's not real?" Totally 6-year-old flips it right on that asshole, I swear. I feel like, here's the other thing about that kid too. Extremely whiny until his dad becomes Santa Claus. Yeah. Then he likes his dad. Sure. Oh, now he's cool. Oh yeah. It's like his dad's a celebrity now. Uh-huh. This kid's a little, he takes him to Denny's. He's so unappreciative. Wait until a kid becomes 12, 13. He gets embarrassed that his dad's Santa Claus. He gets beat up at school because his dad is Santa Claus. That's what I mean. He doesn't. Nobody believes in his dad. He doesn't want to see his dad doesn't exist. By the way, the kid, I think your dad isn't real. My dad's Santa Claus. Oh, trust me, he is. No, I think also too, the other thing about the kid was they did perfect casting with the bully. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was the kid at career day. The kid's like, yeah, you're Santa Claus, whatever. That kid was perfectly casted as a bully. I don't know why bullies always have red hair. Why is that a thing? It's because they lash out because, they themselves are feared of making fun of, getting made fun of. There should have been more scenes with that bully, by the way. I feel like there should have been more like that kid interaction. He needed a swirly. His hair was primed for swirly. Now, as much as this movie's all about Tim Allen and being Santa Claus, becoming Santa Claus, I feel like it could have strayed away a little bit and showed more of the kid in his scholastic settings and all that. I don't know. That's just me. But now that I'm thinking about it, we're bashing the kid. You're bashing the kid. I couldn't stand this kid. And we were bashing the kid while we were watching it. That and mostly the whole room that was watching the movie with us, except for a couple people. Like the room was divided between us being jerks and us being, right about this kid being a jerk. But now that I'm thinking about it, the kid on one side, he's divorced, right? So he's got to worry about the split of his parents, childhood divorce. That's never easy. Secondly, the stepfather who comes in is trying to become like the main male figure in his life, right? Is like a fun-sucking, pretty much nice asshole, if you will, right? He is. Like, he's a nice guy, but he's totally being a dick because he's trying to, ruin the kid's childhood or like end his childhood, not ruin it, just end it.
You need to grow up. Do you want to get a job someday?
Yeah, right. So
at 6 years old,
so the kid's frustrated. He has nowhere to turn. His dad's working making toys, but he's not playing with toys with him.
Dude.
His mom's over there spending too much time with Neil.
Hold on
and
a
Neil's
second.
over there just telling him to shut up and stop having fun.
Let me say this though. His dad was trying to be fun, dude. Tim Allen was awesome. He was like, "Yo, you believe in Santa Claus?" He was like trying to get him back into the imagination.
I guess he was.
read him the story.
Yeah.
The kid didn't even want to hear about the story.
He can't be a dad one night a year. Let's what happened last month? What happened last weekend? Right?
He burnt the turkey on Thanksgiving.
I feel like Tim Allen was trying to get the kid to his spirit. It's kind of like he's been missing for a while.
I don't know.
Because he's always at work. I feel like there's deleted scenes. This movie was only an hour and a half long.
Yeah. If
this movie were made today, it would have been about 180 minutes, and we would have had a whole backstory about how Tim Allen was a horrible father.
See, I needed more of that though for me to be convinced. I'm not convinced.
This movie didn't need to be more. Didn't need to be more.
I needed 2 hours and 37 minutes of him being a bad father.
Zack Snyder director's cut. Santa Claus.
The ultimate cut.
The ultimate cut.
With slow motion Santa sleighs. No, I needed more of him being a bad father for me to be convinced that he's a bad father because for me, he's making a living. He's trying to be a good father. Neil's here being a buzzkill, dude.
That's the beauty of the quick movie is that it's all about interpretation. I interpret it as he was a lousy father and him just trying to like get in the good graces one day on Christmas Eve, trying to, hey, believe in Santa, kid. Like he saw the kid was down in the dumps, but other days, like he contributed to the kid being whiny as well.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to take him to another restaurant. He wound up at Denny's. Denny's wasn't his first choice.
He could have fed the kid like Lipton noodles or something and been done with it. He did take him to Denny's.
He could have fed him the biscuits, the freaking gravy and potatoes and everything else that was on that table. He didn't have a protein.
Right,
make a protein shake, kid.
Get into the mind of your kid, right? You're the kid. Okay. You're at dad's house for Christmas Eve and he just ruined dinner. A nice turkey dinner with all the fixins. He ruined it. And he drags your ass to Denny's. Or you're thinking all the time, you're thinking, man, I could be at mom's right now. Mom wouldn't have messed up dinner. Neil wouldn't have messed up dinner.
Yeah, he said that. He's like, Neil's a great cook.
See what I'm saying?
Neil's this.
It's like
Neil's
he got
that.
the short end of the stick. He's with dad because dad doesn't know how to take care of him properly. He's just his friend.
Listen,
he's trying to be his buddy.
What this movie needed was a dumpy apartment with no food. Then I would have believed that he was a bad father.
That was the only difference because the guy has too good of a job to have a dumpy apartment. So, of course, he has a townhouse.
He also tried...
Hotshot toy maker.
He 99.5% completed dinner. I don't know how much percentage the turkey is worth. Maybe it's worth more than 0.5%. Yeah. But he tried.
Look, I can get by on stuff. You know what the funny part is about this whole dinner thing? That kid's going to take like 3 bites and be done anyway. Yeah. Kids don't eat.
And you're going to say, finish your meal, son.
6-year-olds don't eat. They just don't. They don't.
That kid wants to go open his presents right now.
Exactly.
He's bored because they didn't get the Xfinity package. His dad doesn't have the Xfinity package.
Dad doesn't even have cable.
The internet doesn't even work. Neil's internet is better than yours, Dad. He's got 100 megs down. That's what I'm saying, man. This kid is a whiny jerk. I couldn't stand him. And I love this movie.
I could empathize.
Come on, man.
I came around. My Christmas spirit woke up a little bit, rethinking my stance on this kid.
I'm just saying, like his dad was trying hard. He read him the book. He went out there.
Listen, Drew, I'm not even the father. You're the father. How do I have these feelings? I don't understand.
Let's be real. I'd burn the turkey too. So
you wouldn't be anywhere near that turkey, all right? Unless it was on the grill.
Yeah. See, I could grill a turkey.
You get a turkey,
deep fry it. Yeah. We're good.
Yeah.
So anyway, we talked about this stupid kid enough. Let's jump to the incident. Right. The incident. He goes outside. He hears a rose such a clatter. The Rose Ladder Company.
Such a clatter.
Santa falls off the roof. The Santa Claus.
Horrible tragedy.
Dead. Murdered. Is it murder? I think it's manslaughter. Murder. Right? What's manslaughter? What's the accidental?
No, I forget. This was a couple days ago. I watched this movie. I completely forgot. What exactly happened? How did Tim Allen assist in the death?
He startled him.
That's not murder.
No, it's manslaughter.
That's not even manslaughter. What's he doing on the roof?
Yeah, I mean, right.
He thought he was a robber.
He should have used the back door. Yeah, really.
He should have rang the doorbell. Hey, Preston's here. The UPS guy. That was a bad joke. We'll edit that out.
I'm leaving it.
No, but he startled him. So that's accidental death.
That's
covered under homeowners insurance or something, isn't it?
Actually, if he had the claws, I don't know if he was smart enough to
didn't have the claws.
do that. Yeah. No, but he falls off the roof.
Yeah.
This guy didn't die. He was moving around.
First of all,
look, he was tired.
I think I said first of all before. Second of all, the guy fell off the roof, right?
Into a snowbank.
Into a snowbank. He's alive.
He's definitely alive.
Right.
He moved around.
I've fallen off a roof before. I lived. I didn't break a bone.
We all do backyard wrestling.
Sure.
You jump off your roof.
Sure, it's the top rope.
Split a table.
It's the top rope. It's the top of the cage.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, listen, and he's got some fat.
Yeah.
He's got snow.
Yeah.
He fell into the snowbank. He was totally alive.
He was fine.
This was this dude's exit strategy. He's been waiting. He's been waiting probably, I don't even know how long.
Do you ever fantasize about faking your own death to clear your debt?
Yeah.
It's like that's what the Santa's doing. But his debt is eternal life in this Santa suit, delivering presents one day a year.
Someone call this hell.
Yeah. Right.
He was definitely alive. This was his plan.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, so the clause says on that in the most microscopic print possible.
On the business card.
They don't even have an electronic microscope powerful enough to magnify this. You put that jacket on, you're in charge, buddy.
You're Santa, buddy. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. It's your job now.
Would that hold up in court?
No, the Scott Calvin just needed a lawyer up. That's really all he needed.
Is that a legally authorized document?
I don't think so.
A card?
You hire a lawyer, they'll tear that shit right up.
I mean, did he get it notarized? Was it like, what do they do for that?
He didn't sign anything.
Yeah, I know. He put the jacket on.
Yeah. All he did was to put on a jacket.
What if he was cold? He was out in his boxers.
But anyway, first of all, who puts on a dead guy's jacket?
Yeah, that's a violation.
A guy who disintegrated into the earth, apparently, because the body was gone.
You're like, what if he didn't disintegrate? What if he melted so the inside was just his guts, like just slimy?
That's further proof that the guy just took off, right? He went to Mexico.
What if he said no? What if he said no here? I'm going to pose a situation. Like, he gets back to the thing. He goes back. The elves will start being dicks to him.
Yeah, they get to the North Pole. He meets Bernard.
Bernard's a dick. I'm sorry.
Bernard's a huge dick.
Dude, Bernard was yelling at him.
Yeah. First of all, why do I keep saying first of all?
You're on like fifth of all.
This is a weird show, you guys. Sorry.
Fifth, sixth, seventh of all.
Sorry, guys. Seventh of all.
First of all. I'm gonna have a tally right now. I'm gonna start a bell right now.
All right, ninth of all. The jacket doesn't equal you have the job. I don't care what the clause says. So when Bernard basically says, buddy, you're Santa Claus, you got to do it. Buck up, buddy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Disappoint all the kids? You say yes.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
I will.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You going to make me?
I'm Santa. You're Santa.
Yeah, you're Santa.
I'm not Santa. You're Santa.
And he's like probably double the size of Bernard. He could have like forcibly put the coat on Bernard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So why didn't the whole second half of the movie be him trying to put the jacket on people?
Yeah, just trying to do you ever try to I know you've never tried to do this because it's a crazy act, but think about the idea of trying to forcibly put a coat on someone. It's hilarious.
Because you
get in there.
Because the arm, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. It's like the guy, you would never get the guy. You'd have to do 1 arm at a time. You could
gotta wait till
overpower
they're
someone.
sleeping. You could trick them, be like, hey, man, I need to, what size are you? You 42 regular? Yeah, I need to, here, try this on for me.
So in about 2 years, when your daughter, just refuses to put her shirt on.
Oh, she already does that.
So it's like, imagine trying to wrestle with your daughter, and you're like, what is 6-7 times the size of your daughter? Yeah. And she's gonna win. She'll squirm out. You'll never get the shirt on the girl.
I'm only twice the size of her. I can't.
So imagine a grown ass man trying to put a coat on a guy. I just think it's a funny thought. I don't know.
No, it is, but he should have probably just thrown the coat on Bernard.
Sure, let's go. Put it over his head.
He could have tackled him. Yeah. He could have taken him out. But Bernard was being a jerk. Was it justified? Was it justified?
So I don't know if we've clarified this or not. Bernard is the main elf at the North Pole. We've never said this yet.
The head elf.
Maybe that's confusing that we keep talking about Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard. So, but anyway, was it justified him being a jerk to him?
Well, yes. I feel in his eyes, yes. And here's my theory why. It's because think of it as a company. You just lost your basically your CEO,
Red Alert,
your owner, your principal man. It's like this company's going under. If there is no Santa Claus. So this is like alert, code red. We need to talk this guy into being Santa. We got to smack him in the face, wake him up, tell him you're doing this job. Get out there and do it.
See, I would have expected, and here's what I would think. Bernard's been waiting for this day.
Yeah.
He couldn't wait till the guy died so he could step up. He looked like he wanted to take over the job.
I don't know. I feel like I don't think he wanted that job. It's too much responsibility. You know how cushy of a job head elf is? He doesn't even have to make the toys.
He's vice president.
He doesn't even have to make the toys.
Yeah.
He's supervising.
He's vice president. He doesn't have to do anything.
If I were Bernard, see, there's a whole way you could go about this. They went about it the way they went about it, where they went panic and hard work and guilt. You got to do this for the kids. What are you, crazy? What are you going to ruin Christmas for everyone? You got to show the good side. You got to show the benefits, right? That first night, it was just all about the work. Look at all this work. Look at what you got to do.
Yeah.
How about the good side of
Dude, you
Santa?
Get cookies, you get sweet, chocolate
Hey,
milk.
He's not married to Mrs. Claus.
You know what? That's like we talked about Hugh Grant last week.
Yeah.
He didn't have a wife. Is this the first situation where there was no Mrs. Claus? If he was married, does the wife turn into Mrs. Claus?
Yeah.
She didn't sign up for that.
She didn't sign up for that. Yeah, you're not bequeathed his wife, so he gets to pick a new Mrs. Claus. So we get the whole Father Christmas.
Is it like
plot
The Bachelor
from last week?
The Bachelor.
You get to have your pick. Maybe there's some elves that are single. Maybe there's there's a bachelor type. You gotta there's got to be a contingency plan, a line to talk. There's a better way to talk this guy to being Santa Claus. Is what I'm saying.
Like, look, man, we got some.
I'm not talking
here.
Prostitution. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm talking about there's got to be some when you take a 5-star recruit on a college visit,
you show them the benefits
of
campus.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not quite prostitution.
Yeah,
but it's like the co-eds on campus. There's some co-eds that are it's their quote unquote job to make sure this kid has a good time.
Did you really go there?
There's got to be some people that are employed at the North Pole that want to make sure this new Santa Claus has a good time. Because Tim Allen isn't the first new Santa Claus to step in here. I have a feeling there's a lot of dead Santa Clauses on their hands in this world.
I want to know how long the last guy was Santa Claus.
What's the prequel to this movie, right?
And the truth is too, if he had a wife, if he was still married to this lady, Laura, would she have turned into Mrs. Claus?
Is she Mrs. Claus? Good
That's
question.
What I'm saying, right? Does she turn into Mrs. Claus?
No.
Is she automatically signed up?
No, I don't know if this is answered in Santa Claus 2 or 3. Don't knock us for not seeing that movie, because I don't think I've ever even seen it before.
I don't think I'm
so let's pretend if these questions are answered, I don't care about that. That's out of our hands. I don't give a shit. I'm talking about our hypothetical situations here. She turns into Mrs. Claus, I think, if he's married. But he's not. So he has the rare opportunity to find his own Mrs. Claus.
I'm telling you, it's The Bachelor. They really should have done that. Father Christmas.
Yeah. And you talk about you get anything you want, live up there in the North Pole, cushy job. You don't have to be there the whole time. Santa's the head honcho. You get all it's like LeBron James doesn't have to practice if he doesn't want. It's he's the LeBron James of the North Pole, right?
Let's be real. Tim Allen would sign up in an instant for this movie.
You could spend 6 months down at the beach in Mexico. Money is no object.
He just has to be back by Thanksgiving. That's what Bernard said.
They got a list, naughty nice. You could bullshit that, right?
He was walking around on the streets and he knew, and he was like, what did he say? Veronica, nice.
Yeah. See, if you're bound by law, whatever law it is, to be Santa Claus because you put the jacket on, you don't have to do a good job at it, do you?
I mean, that's what Billy Bob was bad Santa, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't even a real Santa.
He's like a mall Santa.
A mall Santa. So I'm talking, nowhere in that contract does it say you have to be good at being Santa. To the point where they want to kick you out, which maybe they'll kill you.
Yeah, maybe those elves, dude, are ruthless, man.
Maybe they'll kill you. They'll find a guy on the street and say, hey, buddy, put this jacket on.
No, they don't even need to do that. You know that what is her name? Dorothy? What was the head elf? She just slip a little cyanide pill in that milk and cookies.
Yeah, it's real easy. It's real easy to take out a Santa Claus.
Oh, oops, that fireplace didn't turn off when you went down there. He's burning alive.
Maybe during one of the Mrs. Claus quote-unquote tryouts, you just get an assassin in there. Oh, man, I don't know.
Game of Thrones style.
Yeah.
No, so let's talk about the transformation a little bit because I think it plays into this, right? So I have a theory for you, and I want to see if it lines up with what you're thinking. The fact that he slowly comes around to being Santa Claus. He was so against it, right? He wanted his kid to believe in Santa Claus, right? Even though he thought it was fake.
Yeah.
He becomes Santa Claus. He's like, dude, I'm not having this. The family is clearly very mad at him because his body is transforming against his will.
It's a little ridiculous from their perspective.
It is, but you know what? He didn't do anything wrong, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So he starts to gain a little weight.
Put on a little weight.
Goes to his work.
Graze a little hair.
They see him. He's a little chubby. He's been gone for 2 weeks. They said he gained 45 pounds in 2 weeks. He looks a little chubby. Yep. He tells them, it's a bee sting. I'm allergic to... Great excuse, by the way. Great excuse.
Word sweats.
But that lady just calls him out right away bee sting? All right, man. What he eats is none of your business. Yeah. That was on the company dime. Get out of here, lady.
Hey, I've gotten lunch from work before. Sometimes you just get what's on the menu, man. It's free.
He got the sundae. Yeah. He asked for a salad. He had a salad. That was healthy.
Sure.
I mean, they were a little quick to ride this guy's jock.
Sure,
if
man.
I'm saying.
Get off his back. All right?
Get off his back.
Yeah. He's a fat guy. You put on some weight. You don't. If someone puts some weight on, you don't call him out.
That's what I mean. It was a little rude on their part.
Unless it's unhealthy. Let me back up. Let me backtrack a little bit here. It was pretty quick. He put on that blood. It's a little looks something's fishy.
Yeah, but it could have been the bee sting, man.
He said the bee sting, and when the guy says bee sting, you back off.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's right.
He had an excuse.
You're right.
How else would the guy put on 45 pounds? He could have been extremely swollen from a bee sting.
You could think bullshit, but you just back off and let him have it.
He should have sued her, man.
Yeah.
Take her to court.
Take her to HR, man. Take her to court.
Take her to court. Call up Gordon Bombay. I'm going to slap an injunction on you.
How funny would it be if that's how the world worked? Like, forget lawsuits. It's like you immediately declare court. You want to get up? We're going to court. and you see the judge immediately, and it's you versus her.
You know what though? People would have to really think on their feet.
Yeah,
it would be interesting as hell to see like what kind of argument. They
the fastest talkers would rule the world.
Yeah. Judge Judy.
Yeah.
That's what it would be. Everything would be court TV. So anyway, go back to the transformation. Yeah. He starts putting on weight. His hair starts to get gray. He starts like growing a beard in an instant. He goes to the doctor.
This guy's like my last year.
He goes to the doctor.
Facial hair, gaining weight.
The doctor looks at him. You're healthy.
Yeah, you're healthy as an ox.
He couldn't believe it. Shouldn't he get his like thyroid checked out or something? Yeah. I mean, what's the real like?
It's a pretty bad doctor. I'd be pretty concerned. He's like, yeah, it's fine.
If you want to make this a little realism, let's get Christopher Nolan in here. We'll explain it with a medical condition. Like, I think he's got a bum thyroid or something. His hormones are way off. So how do you feel about this? Like if you started turning in, put yourself in his shoes.
Yeah.
Let's say you literally started turning into Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Would you go insane?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? The whole beard thing, you shave it and it grows right back. It's like, it's a Homer Simpson thing. It happens to Homer Simpson.
I thought he handled it pretty well.
It's a cartoon thing.
I thought he handled it pretty well.
Yeah, well, he took it in stride. Because in the back of his mind, like, he knew he went to the North Pole, right? He was trying to deny it. But he knew in the back of his head that shit really happened. It wasn't a dream.
And see, this is where the movie takes a little bit of a turn to me. Like, this part is where I started to enjoy it a little bit less. I still like the movie, and I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But it started to go off this, like, weird tangent where I'm like, I'm not really sure I'm on board for everybody being a jerk to him. Like, I felt like the guy couldn't control what was happening to him. He was trying to mind his own business.
It's like he's going through puberty all over again. Imagine knocking a teenager for going through puberty.
Oh, dude, your voice sounds so lame. Yeah.
He's going through all these changes. His body's going through changes that he doesn't understand.
You have acne.
And people just bash you for it all the way through.
You have acne. I'm taking custody of your son. I'm taking him away from you. How could you have acne?
Yeah.
No, it's just like, it got a little ridiculous for me, and I was getting frustrated because I was like, the dude didn't even sign up for this, man. And he's sitting on a park bench. Kids are coming up to him. That's not his fault. What's he supposed to do? Get the hell out of here?
Yes, because it looks creepy, man.
I'm just saying, then Neil shows up
yeah.
and becomes the justice warrior for every child ever. And basically is like, I've had enough. I've had enough. We need to take your son away from him.
That's a pretty bold statement there to
Listen,
just talk your wife into taking custody away from her ex-husband.
That was a power move if I've ever seen one. And she fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Like he got in her head. He did the opposite of what a psychologist should do. Instead of trying to get to a problem, he told her what to think.
Yes. And
that wasn't right. That's where I got really frustrated.
You can't be a person's spouse and a psychologist at the same time.
It's a conflict of interest.
Can't do that.
It's a conflict of interest, my friend. And I just feel like he accepted the role. He came to love it. My question originally, what I wanted to say earlier was, when he says he just don't do it, right? Just don't do it. Did you feel like the magic started to take over and he kind of lost control of his own actions?
Well, as far as like appetite, like he started eating all the sweets, milk and cookies, started dressing in red and green. He had the sweet red Chuck Taylors going on.
That was pretty awesome.
Tracksuit, red and green tracksuit. Yeah, like I feel like it was all subconscious. Like he didn't actively go out and say, "Hey, I'm going to be Santa Claus now. I might as well dress the part." Like it kind of like organically happened. I feel like he got fat. He needed to buy new clothes. Like he just picked the red and green ones, and like it was subconscious. I feel that's my interpretation.
So he warmed up to the role. He started to get happy about it because
he didn't warm up to it. I feel like it was all like magical. Like it just gradually took over him until he realized, "Holy shit, I really am Santa Claus." What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, he embraced it pretty quick, and then the movie just kind of like ended.
Yes, it did.
Like not to be weird, but
it did.
Like he becomes Santa Claus. They take the son away. He pretty much abducts the kid.
Yeah, he abducts his own son. Yes, not cool.
He abducts the kid basically because the kid's
it wasn't
like
his court.
It
wasn't his court mandated custody time.
And then they start delivering presents, and it was kind of silly because they go deliver presents, and the kid's like, "Hey, here's Mom and Neil Street. Can we go back to there?" It was like the cops of the SWAT team was waiting for him.
Yeah,
like. That was an amateur move on his part.
Oh yeah, it's like if you're a fugitive, you got to go further away, not towards.
But did they know? Did he know? Did Scott Calvin know that they were going to take it up a notch? Like, they took away the kid and then they immediately called the SWAT team.
Of course, you're gonna call the cops immediately. I don't think any kid's worth a SWAT team, though. Right? You don't call the SWAT team.
I mean, I get because that's what happens.
He's not armed and dangerous.
You get the 2 cops that come to your house in the middle of the night that write it in a little flip notebook, and they're like, "We'll look for your kid."
Yeah, they have hats on. Yeah, they have the flip notebook.
We'll look for your kid. We'll keep in touch. And then everyone calls over and over. And these days, man,
you know what? Yeah,
maybe send an Amber Alert.
Yeah, not to be real. I'm not to get too real in this podcast, though, but I'm going to get real. They take the report, they go back to the office, and they put it in the stack of the 100 other kids that were missing that same day. Because this shit happens.
They say
it sucks.
He's probably with his dad.
It sucks. Yeah, he absolutely is with his dad. His dad might be going to Mexico for all we know.
See, no, these days, man, this is an Amber Alert
he went north,
scenario.
not south this time.
Amber Alert scenario. They're like, they're sending out text messages. Your phone's beeping really loud.
Now, you want to make this movie a horror movie, right? He really didn't go to the North Pole. It was a mind manipulation to his son. And there is a North Pole. That's like he bought a house and he dressed it up to look like the North Pole, right?
Yeah. And he's just hanging out with him.
Yeah, he's just hanging out with his kid at the North Pole, quote unquote. I'm Santa.
But see, then they would have to cast Neil as like Arnold Schwarzenegger to like go rescue him.
Yeah.
Like Judge Reinhold is not going to be going on a mission to rescue him. Like,
you have to be a buffer guy.
You need like Van Damme. Like, who would you cast to go get him? Like, imagine, like, we talked about Jean-Claude Van Johnson. Like, this is the perfect movie. Like, they redo the Santa Claus. You know, Tim Allen's actually the villain. He steals him, and Van Damme has to go rescue his son.
It has to be somebody more, like, believable as a domesticated role. Van Damme is not that. And neither is Schwarzenegger. It's just funny when he did it for Jingle All the Way.
Like, who are you going to get,
like,
though?
Maybe Patrick Swayze. Like, Patrick Swayze could have been the guy in the sweater that could also whip your ass.
He was probably sick by that. No, he was around at that point, I guess. This is
94, yeah,
right?
sure. Like, Ghost was in the 90s, right?
I don't remember.
Maybe it was 89, I don't know.
I don't know about Swayze. I'm not feeling it.
Because I feel like he could be a psychiatrist that could also, underneath that sweaters, are some cut muscles that could whip your ass.
You need him to wear glasses.
Yeah.
He needs to wear glasses. Yeah. He's got the mullet.
Yeah.
He's wearing tight jeans, just like in Roadhouse. And he's got like a sweater vest.
Yeah. Or like an intimidating older guy, like a Kurt Russell. You know?
Kurt Russell would work,
Put Kurt Russell in the glasses and khakis. And then, like I said, you take him off, and all of a sudden he rips the sweater off, and he's freaking ripped, and he's ready to whoop your ass. he's got tattoos on. He's got tattoos.
Rescue him at the. Yeah. No wonder Mom married Neil.
Yeah, right.
No wonder Mom married Neil. I could see him. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I like that movie better than the ending of this.
You like it that he's a creep Santa that has a fake North Pole.
I'm liking that movie better than this. It's a little bit more exciting, and like I said, I still watch this pretty much. I'm going to watch this every Christmas now. It's a great movie. But it just doesn't hold up as well as I expected.
Yeah.
So the second half, basically, he goes and delivers the presents. He gets arrested. They send out ELFS, which is like the SWAT team of the elves, and they go to rescue him. Charlie's like hanging out.
Wow, I missed all of this. I must have slept through the entire that whole part.
Charlie was there, dude. Charlie was on the roof.
Oh man.
And he could have ended this whole thing by saying, "Hey guys, I'm right here."
Yeah. I forgot the ELFs, the SWAT, the elf team. I remember it now, but I missed it when I rewatched it.
It was like the rescue squad.
Yeah, I remember it.
The main kid had like a very distinct face to me. And he was like, they go to the jail, they rescue him, and they get him out and they got to deliver the presents because it's going to be...
slept through all of that.
Man, I'm imagining the other scenario where like Tim Allen, even if he's a creep, like if he had, let's say he was Santa Claus and he took the kid and you abducted him, he's got it like the elves are like, you could have elves, like you get some people from WWE, like remember at the beginning of MacGruber, you get like a team of WWF All-Stars, they're elves, ELFS.
They're hired goons.
Yeah.
They're his hired goons and he has some kind of like meth lab or something.
Yeah. And then you get Swayze's got to come in and rescue them.
It's a whole other movie.
I like that
Isn't
movie
that
better.
awesome? You have it both ways. And the beginning of it could be like family friendly, but like, and then like it turns, right?
And I think that would make the custody battle a hell of a lot more exciting.
So the beginning is what you see is what you get in the beginning. You think that he went to North Pole and it's magical and all that, Bernard and all that, but Bernard is actually just some guy that he hired to run his meth lab, and he didn't go to North Pole. He actually just went to like North Jersey, and,
North Jersey,
and it's just his meth lab that he dressed up to look like a jolly North Pole.
He's in Newark.
Yeah, like you could like turn it on a dime, and like it's just all about perspective.
Not to go on this tangent, but I would watch the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, and the stepfather would not be Neil, the jerk, or like
I like Kurt Russell actually. I like Kurt Russell.
Like I like Judge in his like creepy bad stepfather role. But yeah, if we got a badass as Neil To come in there in the second half, be the star of the movie in the second half. In the first half, he's like annoying and he's whatever and he's kind of wimpy.
He's got the glasses on.
Yeah, and you hate him. But then he turns around. All of a sudden, he's the hero of the movie. That's the movie.
Yeah, and then he takes the glasses off. He takes the sweater vest. No, he leaves the sweater vest on, but he's got the guns underneath with the tattoos. Sure. And then he beats the crap.
Absolutely. That's the movie right there.
See, and Tim Allen, he could play an abductor.
Yeah.
He definitely could.
And I swear, you people, listen at home here. We just thought of this on the fly, by the way. We did not write this. This was not in our notes.
I'm looking at
our notes. There's nowhere near our notes, this movie. I think we just made the movie better.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to pat myself and you on the back. We just made that movie.
I feel
it's
like
better.
I don't know if there's anybody better than. See, I'm still not sure on Swayze, man. I'm not sure.
Well,
I like Kurt Russell, but there's got to be somebody else. Like I don't know. I would say
Wesley
The Rock.
Snipes?
I would say The Rock.
Wesley
but,
Snipes?
Yeah, you
can't use The Rock.
You could use The Rock though, but The Rock's a good guy though. He's too good. He's not a heel anymore.
The Rock was still like Rocky Maivia in 1994. Well, he wasn't even on TV. He was probably just getting his ass kicked in the developmentals. Who could it be? I don't know. Are they allowed to have big muscles?
Oh yeah, you definitely could.
I don't want it to be cartoonish. Like it can't be Arnold.
No, you could dress him up. You just put a shirt on him like a dress shirt, and it'll hide the muscles.
Yeah,
then don't have to worry about it.
Harrison Ford's too old.
Yeah, but he's too presidential for that.
He's too presidential.
He's too presidential. You can't have him. Like you, I guess if we go back to the 90s, like could you get away with Chuck Norris? He's got a beard.
So I feel like if this movie were made like 10 years ago, you could have absolutely used Chuck Norris as part of his renaissance. So, you know, when Chuck Norris became a thing and all that, it's like, then you could have used it. In 94, he was still too serious. He wouldn't have taken this role, I feel.
What about Bruce Willis? I know he did Die Hard.
Bruce Willis, yes.
See, Bruce Willis is good. He's bald. Is he bald at this point? It's 90. Probably not.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of bald. He's kind of bald in Die Hard a little bit, or balding.
I just feel like Bruce Willis would do a good job as Neil.
Yeah.
Like if you really recast him with Neil, it'd be better.
Bruce Willis is a funny guy too. Like he's not above like, you know, poking fun at himself or doing a comedic role that turns into an action role.
Well, he has the quips.
Yeah.
Like you can't use, if you did it today, you could use Statham. Like I feel like Statham's good. You can't do Seagal. His hair was too long at the time. Yeah. Like the ponytail doesn't work.
Because Seagal won't make fun of himself. He won't do it. He won't do a comedy like that.
But if you're a psychiatrist, can you have a ponytail, or is it mandated that you have to cut it?
You got to cut it. You can't. It's too professional. It's too unprofessional.
It's too professional.
What about like I was thinking Nick Cage. Like we didn't mention Nick Cage.
Why didn't we not think of that?
Like I think he could have done it like then or now.
But then if we're gonna recast Neil, are we recasting Tim Allen then?
No, I think Tim Allen's good. No, actually no, because Tim Allen can't play evil. It's
I don't
so
know.
hard.
Maybe he could.
So now we got like a face-off scenario where I feel like it should be Nick Cage and John Travolta.
Yeah, you could have John Travolta as the abductor.
Yeah,
he definitely could.
We could do that. We could just have them both like it was right around the same time that Face-Off came out. Like Face-Off was 96, 97. I think they could have both done this role here.
And I think you could have a hell of an elf team, ELFS. Yes. You could have all these henchmen. Like you could have some really good henchmen. And you know in Roadhouse, Jimmy, the guy from Roadhouse, the guy who gets his throat ripped out?
Yes.
Like he could definitely be Bernard.
Yeah.
Like he had the hair for it too. Like Jimmy as Bernard would be awesome.
Sure.
He would be so good. Like this is a better movie.
Yeah. I think we approved it.
So anyway, do you have anything else to say about the movie?
Going back to the movie.
I know we have to get back to the real movie before we wrap
the real
up.
movie. So I think we were going to talk about, was it justified that they were trying to take custody away from Tim Allen?
I don't think it was, personally. I know you do, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, he was acting too strangely to not at least question it and get a hearing going, which they did. Now, I don't know. They never really like finalized, like they never took it away from him, did they? Or did they?
Yeah, they did. They went in the thing. He shows up looking like Santa Claus, unfortunately.
I fell asleep during that part.
See, he can. Shit. Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, so when he showed up at the house, when he actually abducted him, I saw that part.
That was after.
That was like his final goodbye, right?
Yeah,
so it was like, hey, let me say goodbye to my son. Because he wasn't going to get visitation anymore.
Right.
Right. Okay.
But before that, they go into the judge.
I missed the hearing?
Dude, you missed everything, man.
How long was
did you
I out?
see him turn into Santa Claus?
Was I out? Man. The movie's only an hour 37.
I know, right? But they go into the judge and he's like trying to shave and his hair keeps growing back. And he's like, oh crap, this is going to be a problem.
I'm screwed.
And he shows up to the hearing looking exactly like Santa Claus.
That's my problem. See, okay, so
he couldn't help it.
He's showing up first. He's gaining weight. He's got the white hair, the white beard. He's clearly dyeing it. He's not really, but to the outside world, to every sane person, he's dyeing his beard and putting weight on. Possibly stuffing his shirt. We don't know if it's got under there or not. At the soccer game, having kids on his lap. Now, I know they came up to him, and he should have said no, but for him to play along with it, it's too creepy.
He couldn't say no. The magic was taking over.
It looks dangerous to other parents, right? It looks dangerous.
He was in a public place.
Yeah, but still, it's like he's gaining kids' trust, and nobody wants that. All right.
Okay, I get it.
So yeah,
I'll give you that one.
and the fact that every time this stupid whiny kid, Charlie, brings up the fact that he's really Santa Claus, which he really should keep on. That's his first mistake, because he should have told Charlie way long ago, keep this on the down low. It's our
he
secret.
decided midway through the movie to do it.
Yeah.
But
Should have been like from the start, listen, I agree with you. I'm Santa Claus, but shut up about it. I'm going to go to jail if you keep this up. And he almost did. So,
he literally went to jail.
So every time that Charlie, like in front of his parents, in front of Neil and his mom, brought up this whole Santa Claus thing, he never really shot him down like fully. And he should have like squashed it right then and there. So to his parents, to Neil and the mom, his ex-wife, it looks really bad. And I get it. And if I were the parent, I would be concerned.
I just think it's a little extreme for Neil to be like, oh, we need to get rid of him now. Get him out of your life.
Well,
like,
Neil sees him as a threat.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a better dad than Neil. I'm sorry. I have to go there.
In all fairness, he did kidnap him. So he was kind of right.
After the fact, he kidnapped him.
He's kind of
but
right.
before that, he dropped the hammer.
Even if he kidnapped him to go on a magical sleigh ride, which was a good thing.
What if they were actually just doing shrooms?
That's what I'm saying. That's the rated R version.
Yeah,
I prefer
Hoboken,
that
New Jersey.
Version. You know, that's where the North Pole is. The North Pole is actually a strip club. It's the back. And the toy making factory is actually just the back room.
It's like a meth lab. It's like the back room of a strip club.
The back room of the big is like the strip club's called the North Pole.
No, and I totally see it. Logically, yes, it makes sense if you're Neil, but Neil was a jerk from the beginning, so I couldn't get on board with this, like, you know, the recount of his fatherhood, like the recall of the election here. It's like it was bothering the crap out of me. So I could see it. I don't agree with it. But anyway, so like he becomes Santa Claus. He accepts the fact. He does deliver the presents. He goes to jail. They rescue him. I'm blowing through like basically 45 minutes of movie here.
Whatever.
All the time that you were sleeping. I'll catch you up some other time. I'd rather watch the rated R version.
I'm a failure. That's all right.
So, you know, he winds up becoming Santa Claus. Everyone accepts it. Neil says he stopped believing in Santa Claus at 3 years old. What a bummer.
That sucks.
You know, that sucks. They didn't get the present they want. He didn't get a weenie whistle. So he gives him the weenie whistle and he becomes Santa Claus. At first, like when the mom fell for the magic was taking her over. I thought she was falling for him again. Like, oh man, I'm decided to be Mrs. Claus here. And then she's like, Santa? Oh, I got to get you some milk and cookies. And Judge Reinhold was so disgusted. He was so mad. And then he fell for it too.
Yeah.
So happy ending. He becomes Santa Claus. Shake this snow globe that I just happen to have in my pouch. Anytime that you want to see your dad, he's going to show up. And they made 2 more of these.
Yeah. Cash it in.
End of story.
End of story.
Is there anything else we need to say?
$200 million later, we got ourselves a franchise.
I mean, we said kind of didn't really hold up as well as it did. I still enjoyed it. I still like the movie, and I'm going to watch it next year.
The parts I saw, I liked, sure.
So you'll have to catch up later.
Maybe I'll try to watch the second one and see how far I make it.
So we got a couple emails this week, and I want to read them before we sign off. The first one we got is from friend and listener to the podcast, Lee from the UK.
Lee. Sorry,
Lee. I hope you know that song. He says, hey guys, hope all is well. Would love to do another Seagal film if you could. My favorite is Hard to Kill. It's bananas and very cheesy, and it's got a great 80s guitar riff. I love 80s guitar riffs. We're suckers for the Chet Stedman. Also, have you guys seen Toy Soldiers? I watched it the other day and was surprised at how well it still holds up. It's like Die Hard in a school. Classic. All the best. Lee, have you seen that movie?
I have not.
I looked it up on IMDb and it looks awesome.
It's a movie, but I know of it, and it's a movie you think I would have seen like 50 times.
Right.
But for some reason, it's always eluded me.
Yeah.
We've had that recommendation before, so we should definitely put it in the queue.
I'll add it to the list because I feel like it would be good. And we definitely need to do Hard to Kill. It's one of my favorite Seagal
Absolutely.
movies.
But yeah, as far as Toy Soldiers goes, both of us being newcomers to that movie, like I feel like it would be a good twist, because usually we do movies that we know pretty well. So it'd be a good twist.
We got another email from John D, which is an awesome email, one of my favorites that we've gotten a while. I think he listened to our nostalgia episode, so he gave us some movies that he watched over and over again. And I think, I don't know if you know any of these, but one of them was The Great Outdoors. I've never seen this one, I don't think. It's John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. Have you seen this one?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I've seen that one.
I haven't seen it. So he says the steak eating contest scene, the bat on the cabin scene, the bear's ass scene. I can still see it vividly today, and it's been about 12 years. Harry and the Hendersons, best portrayal of Bigfoot on film.
Probably true. John Lithgow.
John Lithgow's awesome. He's really funny, and that movie's hilarious. 2 of my favorites, Surf Ninjas and 3 Ninjas. He says, I feel like growing up in California and knowing the cousin of Ernie Reyes made this more popular to me. I still remember the kid's power to control fate based on his Game Gear.
Yes.
I love that movie.
Rob Schneider, too.
I own that movie on DVD, by the way.
I was just reading the notes here, and I thought it said Surf Ninjas and Surf Ninjas 3. Like, kind of blended together.
Where's two?
There was 3 Surf Ninjas.
The trilogy, Patu-san, Return of Patu-san.
Yeah, 3 Ninjas, actually. It's funny. I saw that semi-recently, or at least part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe like less than 5 years ago. Does not hold up well. Clear, and it's a violation of a ripoff of Home Alone, kind of.
The best scene is the X-Lax scene where they like put it in the pizza guy.
But the worst part about that movie is, and I agree with him. Like, this was a very formative movie for me. Like, I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. Was when they go to like bust the bad guys at the end at the dojo, the secret hideout.
The ship. They're in the boat.
Yeah, they're in the boat and they're like fighting grown men. No. Dude,
and the grandpa in there is like the most broke ass, like Mr. Miyagi.
He's so slow.
Yeah, you know what? You want to see a rated R movie? Like, he would be dead. That would be.
No, the kids would be dead. The kids are beating up grown ass men.
Yeah.
Only when they get to the semi boss is when they actually go down.
The final boss, I don't even remember.
No, they don't, because they light him up like the tree with the lights. You know, the training thing.
Yeah, the nut punch.
It's freaking bullshit, man.
Yeah. We should do that movie at some point. I feel like we could
having
do
said all that, I agree. A nostalgic movie for sure.
I love that movie. Yeah. Army of Darkness. He says way into horror, and this was a monthly rental.
Oh yeah, I've seen that more than a few times.
By the way, actually, one more thing about Surf Ninjas. That's awesome that he knew the cousin of Ernie Reyes.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's I think that would make me like the movie even more. Like you said,
good research.
And then scary movies. He says It. Tim Curry was my nightmare. Never actually watched it all the way through. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's a tough watch. The remaking it. Should we just watch the remake or
maybe? He says, Candyman, I was already scared of the whole Bloody Mary deal, and then to turn around and hear the same thing with a scary hook.
That shit is bonkers.
I've never seen Candyman. That's Tony Todd, right?
Don't watch it. It's scary.
And then scary TV show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? This is like a staple of my childhood. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Love this. So many good actors in this.
I wanted to get my nephew into it because I think it's on YouTube, a lot of it.
Dude, it's scary,
He's just turned 10, but I'm not sure if he'd either A, be scared by it, or B, not like it because it's old and lame.
I think both. It's probably old and lame, so you won't watch it.
Is it too like old for him?
Dude,
you know
there's some scary episodes there.
But it was made 20 years ago. Like, I feel like it would just seem too old for him.
It's
like,
cheesy.
Like, he would write it off because it was made 94.
Dude, he's not going to watch it because it's not widescreen. He's going to be like, oh, dude, it's 4:3.
This isn't even in HD.
And then and
your internet's not even good, Uncle Badway.
You better get Comcast, Uncle Badway. The last thing that he said, which made me crack up, he says, just actually perfect timing. He says, also, Tim Allen has a show on ABC, Last Man Standing. It's like Home Improvement if the dad watched Fox News every day and hated Obama. He actually badmouthed Obama and Hillary on the show. Definitely a Trump voter. And then he says Home Improvement is a rerun on the Hallmark Channel.
There it is.
I haven't seen the show.
We talked about that on the Nostalgia Show.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, but thank you guys for writing in, Lee and John. We got some other emails I wrote back to you guys. Like I said, we personally write back to everybody. We'll read them on the air, so keep them coming.
Send us in. Tell us we suck. I don't know. Tell us we're wrong. Fact check us.
Keep them coming.
Factcheckpodcast.org. I don't know. Whatever the heck. tell us we suck.
Moviebodycounts.com. We didn't check that for this.
Let us know if you want to see our better rendition of Santa Claus.
Yeah, we'll write that up. So
and who should play the roles? Like, tell us who should play the roles.
I would love to know your casting too.
Yeah,
The other thing is we didn't get people's recommendations on Christmas movies. I know some people wrote into us on Twitter, but if you guys want to know or want to tell us what your favorite Christmas movies are, let us know. How's our list hold up? Our email address is thelastrowpodcast@gmail.com. If you're looking for our website, thelastrowpodcast.com, as I mentioned, on Twitter at thelastrowpod, facebook.com/thelastrowpod, Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you guys are these days, wherever the kids are, the MySpaces.
Why do they gotta be kids? What if the grandpas are listening?
Wherever the grandpas are at.
Grandma and grandpa got fast internet now, so they're probably listening to the podcast.
Comcast Triple Play.
They got it for Christmas on the 26th. The whole family's gone. They're alone again.
That's how they're listening to our podcast.
What are they doing? They gotta use the internet.
Yep. So anyway, we'll see you guys next week.